possible. It's still possible. They have a lot of space making heroes. Like I feel like when they open a drop Tusk plus AA, it allows the Tusk to make a lot of space because you have that global ice blast.
I wouldn't mind seeing Vici pick up a Crystal Main to keep this winter theme going right now. That would be awesome. Lich as well.
I think their winter hero normally is Winter Wyvern.
Oh, that's a good one as well.
That's
you could easily
the
make a
winter
five-man
hero.
winter team. That would be no carry though.
I think you have too many supports. Is there a winter carry?
Why is there no winter carry?
Drow Ranger is a winter carry.
Yeah,
she's sort of borrows on the power of Drow.
All right.
Sure, guys.
Love
well
to
done,
see,
guys. Commending both of you.
Ember Spirit is the third pickup here for Liquid.
Obvious counter to the winter theme.
Yeah,
and
fire.
I think Matumba Man is the best Ember player.
He is.
He's the best Ember.
People are considering him the best.
What makes him better than the other? Like what makes him stand out to you?
Because he uses the hero to full potential most of the time. Like he pressures a lot. He goes to the opponent jungle. Like you see some Embers, maybe they farm very quick, but they take up a lot of space. They farm a lot of lanes. But Matumba Man plays it like. You remember how the teams utilized the gyro back in the last patch where they level 6 they TP to the enemy safe lane and they fight? Like for Matumba Man, he goes to the opponent's jungle and starts farming, then he creates a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he's very aggressive with it. Look at this. We're talking about how we don't see it very often, but the Earthshaker will come out here for Vici Gaming.
It feels like they're shaping up for a 4 protect 1 draft for burning, because you have 3 space making heroes already.
Yep.
And these 3 heroes doesn't really take a lot of farm, and they are setting up for a hero that will eat up the whole map's farm. So I think that Vici is going to have a very big carry.
You know another player that reminds me that's like JRX? It's actually FY. To me, they actually play a lot of the similar heroes. They both play Winter Wyvern. They both play support Sankeem back when it was popular. So I think he's going to be playing the Earthshaker here, right? FY? Yeah. Because I imagine Finra is going to be playing the AA.
Is the AA player.
Yeah. So if he somehow gets the blink, he's going to be making a lot of space. But even before that, he's going to be trying to roam and gank a lot. Clockwork now is the pickup.
Liquid got all the heroes that I think they prefer to put on their players. Like for Mind
Fata,
Control, you guys
SF,
were talking about Clockwork being one of his best heroes, and there's A and Earthshaker. Both heroes are very easily ganked by Clockwork, very susceptible to Clockwork's hookshot.
You commit to an Earthshaker and you see a Clockwork, it's just heartbreaking.
They have a really solid like their 3 cores I think are very solid, SF, Ember and Clockwork. Because when you have SF and Ember, these 2 cores take up a lot of space. So your offlaner has to be someone that doesn't take so much space and makes space for the other 2 heroes. So they have a very well balanced draft right now.
They just need that JRX hero. Could even go for that Ogre at the end, who knows?
Yeah, I think they can go for a hero that roams a lot, keep stacking for SF, and make sure that they keep protecting the SF from a Tusk rotation or Shaker rotation. That would be always JRX's job in this game, I think, if they want to make sure that the Shadowfiend gets a good start.
Now we look, though, to Vici Gaming here. We got to see some late game coming out. They've got their support staff and their Ice hero. We have to see what they're going to have in store for potentially burning. They might save the burning pick for the end here, but mid lane options now. It's going to be going against the Shadowfiend here.
If you are looking for a Space Maker with a disable for Ember, or Dragon Knight is one of the options you have. Like they could still go for TA, but TA is not so good with a 4 protect 1 draft if they plan to go for a very big carry in their last pick for burning. Obviously they're dire, so TA has a lot of merits, but looking at the general idea they have in the first 3 phase, it's less likely they go for a TA because they are looking to set up for a 4 protect 1 strategy. That's how I feel about the way they are picking the heroes right now. So maybe a DK or maybe something
like
that
a
can make
Razor.
space.
Would a Razor work okay, or is that going to be too difficult? That's
so this is safe link.
This is their safe. So Clinks is not exactly a 4 protect 1 hero. He's a very aggressive carry. So maybe they're actually looking to go for another semi-core in the mid lane that actually deals damage. And TA plus Clinks obviously good synergy together as well, like minus armor. And Clinks is also a hero that's very good versus. It's not like very good directly good against the Shadowfiend like in general, but it's because of the way you play the Clinks. Like you roam around early, you pressure, so you might find the SF when he's jungling. So that way, in that way that he counters the SF, he's not directly countering the SF, but because of the play style of the 2 heroes.
I think Clinks is also going to be very good in lane against the Clockwork, because you could even possibly rotate both the AA and Earthshaker off the lane. Not always, but the Clinks by himself, once he gets like a 1 or 2 level advantage over the Clockwork, the flaming arrows, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. Clockwork has very much of a big problem, in the laning phase against Clinks, because you can't really, you can get levels with Cogs, but you're going to take a lot of harass from the Klings in the lane. So
So is it worth getting Clockwork a bit of backup here with this 5th pick,
Nah,
or
I
just
don't
still let him
think
do his
so.
thing?
I think they just focus on making sure that Shadowfiend is safe in the lane,
Mm-hmm.
like a JRX hero that roams around and keeps stacking for SF. And Clockwork is like, even if you don't get farm, it's fine. You just need levels on the hero. You don't really need so much farm.
I love that ban on NS. So we almost forgot about that, but
Yep.
Vici Gaming did not, and they will rid of that and
There's
other
still
JRX options.
there's still the Wyvern against the Klings, but there's Ancient Apparition, so you can't heal through Claw Embrace.
Yeah,
But the Claw Embrace is still very good versus Klings,
nice to have a
and
Glimmer
obviously
Cape
good
candidate.
versus the Warrior's Punch as well.
We'll have to see here, but heavy mobility, early support, bit of
What
defense
about
there.
something like a Bane? It's a
Yeah,
hero that
Bane
we
is also
see
okay.
in the Western draft a lot. Enfeeble's not exactly the most level up spell, but it could be worth consideration when Vici is putting so much. It's the Ogre. You talked
So
about it.
It is indeed the Ogre.
It's one of those things like I feel like it's the JRX checklist. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not available. This is not available. Here's our third option.
They
it's
have
the
a lot
Ogre.
of honestly, they have a lot of options at this juncture. They have Bounty, they have Wyvern, they have
Spirit
Ogre.
Breaker,
There's
yeah.
a lot, Spirit Breaker is banned, but they have a lot of options for this last pick. But
You know, Jirax actually plays like only 8 heroes.
His hero- yeah, his
his
hero
serious?
pool is not
only
very
8
deep.
heroes.
He only
eight is
plays-
a lot, dude.
Well, Kuro plays like 20 when it comes to supports.
Plus, you have to consider that in this meta, maybe not all 8 heroes are going to be very relevant.
Yeah, but they are going to round up their draft with a semi carry, but not so much
we
of
start with ice
physical.
and we end with fire. Wow. Vici Gaming just getting all the elements covered here. Earth, wind, fire, water.
Oh shit.
Captain Planet.
Ice, fire.
What do we
So,
think, though? It's, get heavy burst, super Lena. It could be that bit of a core. Does it feel like almost too much pressure, though, for burning into the late game on this
I
Klings?
think they have to win the game early into mid
Yep.
game. They have to actually get a lot of stuff done
Mhm.
and control the map with the Klings and the Lina. So I think Vici has to step up in the early game. Otherwise, when it goes down to late game, Shadowfiend and Ember will be very hard to deal with, especially when they have Bloodlust.
Can't help but feel like, though, that Team Liquid also got a lot of very good comfort heroes for them, and we'll have to see if it's going to work out. Getting ready to hop into the action right now. Let's go ahead and throw it over to our 2 casters now. It's going to be LD and GoDz. Gentlemen, please take it away.
Pixel and Merlini casting over there. Currently, GoDz should be a good one as well, but Vici Gaming taking on Liquid as I lose my microphone.
Well, this game, as some of the analysts mentioned, Liquid to me have just really got their just forte of not so much niche heroes, but the picks they like to run. The Roaming Ogre for Jerax, they've got the Ember for Matumba Man. I feel Mind Control has 3 or 4 heroes he plays really well, Clockwork being one of them, next to like his Darkseer as well as Night Stalker, and then Fata Shadowfiend, not like necessarily a signature Fata hero, but a hero he can play as well as any of the top SF players in Europe. So I think Vici Gaming definitely the ones who have to really step up as far as looking at the 2 drafts and feeling like I think Liquid came out better from the drafting stage.
All right, so the nod given there to Liquid, I don't think the analysts actually concluded. They were afraid to make a bold statement, but that's why we've got you here, GoDz, to bring some real confidence to the
I give a
cast.
draft advantage to Liquid, but I mean, it's Vici Gaming. This team has probably been one of the strongest over the past week or 2. They've taken games off all the other top Chinese teams. They haven't been to any of the international LAN events, but they're looking incredibly strong right now, and also showing all kinds of weird strats and picks. They're running the Morphling in the off lane with like this Alchemist Undying draft. So
Yeah, even look at TI5. Like they brought
Yeah.
Luna back into the meta. They're picking up Spectre when nobody was.
they're a team that everyone's going to be scared of versing. Whereas you look at a team like CDEC, yeah, they're your TI runner-ups, but you know what they're going to run. They're more predictable. You know what's coming your way, so you can prepare for them. It's so difficult to prepare for Vici Gaming.
All right, well, with that underway, Bounty Rune's about to spawn. We're hopping into it, guys. I will try to hold on to my microphone this time around. Bottom Rune about to spawn. Let's see. Fata should be getting his early Bounty Rune. It looks like Super will grab his as well. Fata is opting for the quicker bottle build. Gets the makings of the magic wand as well along the way, if he so chooses. And we'll see Jerax boots first on the Ogre. And man, Jerax has been one of the standout players for Liquid. It's very versatile in terms of his hero pool, GoDz, and finds a way to have quite an impact on the laning stage most games. And Ogre definitely one of those heroes that can do it.
Well, and the crazy thing is he plays this very high-risk support style where you're constantly roaming and ganking. You play that style, if your ganks don't work, you fall incredibly far behind. But he always kind of finds the holes, the gaps, the weaknesses in the opponent's lineup to find where he can have the highest impact, where he's going to look to make those moves. So definitely a player who's been consistently performing well.
So they are going to give Fana a little bit of help here in the mid lane, not just the creep block, but yeah, still yet to get a CS. Off to a rough start here. Has skilled up the raises. Looks like he wants to get the twofer. Super trying to prevent that. But
I don't think a creep has died until that raise, though. So he hadn't had a CS, but not a single dire creep had also died. So he's looking okay here. This should be a pretty even 1v1 matchup, although the Ogre looking to kind of tilt it in Liquid's favor. Vici can do a similar thing, though. They've got Shaker, who's going to probably spend a lot of time missing off the map, even when he's trying to pull or stack the jungle. It's all about the fear factor of when he's going to come mid, when is Fata going to get jumped by the Shaker fissure, which can lead into a LSA Dragon Slave combo for a kill.
I just realized I've been so distracted trying to make sure everything's going smoothly for you guys on the stream as best as we can that didn't even look at the clock. So I'm going to have a sip of coffee, gods,
What is
while
the
we
clock?
contemplate the game clock.
Oh, the game clock. Yeah.
With the creep waves.
Oh.
I know you're trying to cover for me, but that was definitely a good old fail.
There were
fish
still
moment.
creeps there. Lena had like 3 or 4 CS and SF had none, but like it was like a double creep wave on the dire side.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's okay.
we're sorry through lots of stuff, guys. If there's issues,
so they missed
let
the
us know,
D-Ward
but-
top for clock, so he's going to have a bit of a rough time. He actually gets fissure blocked. Fenrir
Nice.
wants to squeeze through, but he's just a little bit too chubby. Seems like somebody had too many snacks after TI.
Oh, he's got
okay, though. In the end, he does manage to force his way through. Actually, the fissure was dissipated, I think, but it kind of looked like he snuck through there at the end. So
That's some clowny Dota.
13-4 on your Ember, though, and I know this is something that Winter talks about a lot. Every time he sees an Ember is not enough teams contest Embers on the safe lane. He's being ignored, gods. How worried are you about that if you're Vici Gaming?
It's going to come down to how does Vici's mid-game match up, and Tusk getting kind of uncontested levels down here is at least a decent trade for the Ember free farm. So I think Vici Gaming okay with this only because Tusk is getting levels. If Tusk was getting zoned out and getting no XP out of the lane by the Dazzle, then you've got issues. But Tusk, to me, can have that high early to mid-game impact, even like before an Ember can, and then he's pretty good against the Ember in that mid-game stage. So I think they can still deal pretty well with him. They've got lots of disables, and also Ember, one of his biggest weaknesses is his low base armor. So that's where Clinks can really be a decent counter as well to the Ember Spirit, assuming you've got the lockdown to combo with him. And Earthshaker, one of the best heroes to combine with the Clinks, because Clinks goes scouting in, invis, Earthshaker fissures from the fog, and a hero can die before they have a chance to react, throw a counter spell, fire running out of there just because of this duo between the Earthshaker and the Clinks. I think it's one of the best heroes to partner up with a Clinks next to like a Spirit Breaker who's got the charge potential. So
And you've got the Lena as well, if she ever gets that Aghanim Scepter up, who has a huge amount of burst. So, as well as a potential Hex carrier later on in the game. Okay, so you're not too worried then.
No, I think both teams getting
If you're
what they
Vici.
wanted to out of the early game. So I don't think Vici Gaming are worried, but at the same time, Liquid, for the most part, lane's going according to plan. Jerix has not been as high impact as we sometimes see him in the first 5 minutes of the game. He's been kind of just supporting and protecting the mid lane, stacking the neutrals for now, which is definitely, to me, the player that's going to look to get involved at the early as soon as possible. The problem is he can't really roam with. He's got to find ganks and kills on his own. He's got no roaming partner for now. Maybe when Mind Control gets some levels, we can see the Clockwork partner up with the Ogre, but for the time being, Dazzle's just going to keep on supporting the safe lane, and Ogre can't really find a ganking partner anytime soon.
And this is, of course, is something that Lumi mentioned, the power of the Clinks, a hero that can zone harder than almost anyone else. Kind of like Gyrocopter, I guess, in the last patch, where he can single-handedly just take over his lane. But the Clockwork only level 2.5, walking back to base with almost full HP. Well, not full, but a decent chunk of HP. While meanwhile, Ice in the off lane, he's hit level 4 and rising. So Ember not able to do as much to slow down the enemy off laner early on.
And Clockwork, very level-dependent offlaner, so that's definitely a cause for concern for Liquid. But I definitely expect the Ember Spirit especially to be looking to pick up a TP scroll, rotate to these other lanes once he's level 6. So
making a move on Fada mid, though. They've got level 6. It's time to party is the call. And Super will grab a quick and very simple first blood.
Very nicely. Very classic kind of rotation timing.
Now, they did have the Observer ward, and I think they saw the Shaker movie around the jungle, but unfortunately that ward doesn't really give them vision when he is on the ramp. So you don't know if he's backing off, if he's heading over towards the bottom lane, and as a result, not able to dodge the gank. It's almost guaranteed Shadow Fiend's going to die at least occasionally there, I feel like, if they want to commit the rotation. Yep. But good news, gods, he's got a little Stackaroonie waiting for him back in the jungle.
Yeah. Not going to hurt Fata too much as far as his overall farm, but gives Vici Gaming that nice little gold boost. Super will just get that faster Yule Scepter as a result. And it is, yeah, a very difficult lane for him.
Uh-oh, Matumba, man. Kind of in danger here, but a good grave will keep him alive. They're trying to finish off Ice. Success is had, and now Matumba with the stick. Actually, level 6 now. Potentially goes in on the shaker here. FY. Definitely need to be careful with the level 3 Flame Guard online, but Tusk will respawn soon, so it seems FY will be okay. He gets the experience at least. He's managed to hit level 4.5, so FY having a good start. And this is the one thing I really do like for Vici. I don't know how much the analysts talked about. I heard them mention it kind of briefly, is that Clinkz can put pressure on the map, but he can also give the lane to AA, and that's something that they will want, is that fast Ice Blast for Fenrir.
Yeah, I don't think they want Clinkz to just sit top. He's already level 6. I think his rotation outside of this lane is going to come soon. The one downside is if you do it too soon is it does give Mind Control experience over the lane. So once the Clinkz, if he heads towards mid or the bottom lane, Mind Control is going to get a lot of XP out of this. So if anything, I think Burning heads into the jungle, starts devouring creeps, but stays around top to go for kills on Clockwork, because keeping Clock down could actually be better than trying to go for kills and pressure the SF, because SF is already level 8, has farm. You're not shutting him down. The hero you can shut down is the Clockwork right now.
And the debut of that pesky Death Pact could be coming momentarily. A lot of plus damage, but they know Burning's in the area. Liquid just calling the YOLO dust, and they're going to find Burning. Can they finish him off? The heal bomb comes out. They club him down.
That was next level.
I don't think they had... I didn't look like he blocked Mind Control or anything. Just literally... Clinkz is probably here because he's not farming the lane.
I mean, it comes down to what was the most predictable kill for Clinkz to go for. I talked about how SF is just playing hidden, has the levels and farm. The one hero you want to keep trying to kill is the Clockwork. You keep him level 2, level 3, but that was just some insane guesswork.
Yeah, that's not even like a bad play by Burning. That's just an amazing play by Liquid.
That was
excellent game sense.
That like gave me chills just seeing that.
Yeah, nerd chills even. Oh, Fada tanking the Lacuna going down again. Super on the way to a very fast Yule Scepter though, and good news for Vici. And they're gonna need to keep on getting these kills. Now with that, almost 1,000 gold advantage for Super Mid, despite Shadow Fiend having the CS lead clear up the stacks. But hold that thought, bottom lane. Big committed dive here by Matumba Man, but the snowball from Ice is going to discourage any future aggression. He will back away. And we see Clinkz get active, but he runs by the tower mid. Burning is scouted. Doesn't mean it's going to cost him, but it will limit his kill opportunities here.
Yeah, and this gives Liquid the info of where he is on the map. So they'll know that Clinkz is inside their jungle and either be looking to flank mid lane or go for kills towards bottom. Looks like Ember did run into that Clinkz.
Uh-oh. Is it even needed? Ice has the shards available. The solo kill on a safe lane Ember. It
was with the Clinkz. So,
oh, was it?
He ran into the Clinkz, Fire Remnanted away from Clinkz, and then he like Remnanted into the Tusk.
Okay. So he had a little help,
yeah,
I guess.
Clinkz
it was like almost
assistance.
entirely Tusk, though, it looked like at the end there. Good catch, and, well, Ember being slowed down. BOT is often the pickup here, but with that death, will be delayed if he wants to go for it. They did manage to deward their jungle. So Vici now going to start farming up some stacks. We'll see Super on the way to a Yule Scepter. Looks like Fenrir also getting close to level 6, so a very good pace for the support. Yep. Ancient Apparition, and even FY on the Shaker able to get 6. So both supports level 6. You compare that to Liquid, they're both 4.
There's so many games.
They've gotten way more out of the woods, and this is the power of the Clinkz.
A Shaker is often here at 9 minutes in, you see like level 2 or level 3 still, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but having a Shaker this high level is fantastic. That just means that maxed out fissures can be doing a lot more damage and can offer a lot more to your team as a result.
They're chasing FY, caught up by the chains, but Ice Blast is here. They're going to let it fly. Stun. Oh, Matumba Man just gets out of the AoE, but FY burning down. Barely going to get caught. There's no mana for Laguna Blade. Remnants back. The cogs are there. Mind Control gets him out. Very nicely played. And looks like you will escape successfully. And this also frees Liquid up. They've dragged 3 heroes top. They now push on mid, wailing away at the tower. And, they did end up catching Mind Control in the end. Looks like a long snowball to find him. But Liquid looks like maybe even take a tower off of this.
Yeah, Vici Gaming.
They're a little worried.
Yeah, they'll get back in time to defend this one, but already good damage dealt, and this is not really an SF that's been shut down despite going 0-2 in lane against Super's Lina. So Fata is still probably gonna have a pretty good timing on what I imagine is gonna be the mech for the team. Actually, yeah, that's the Ogre Ring, but he's sitting on 900 gold, so wherever he's looking to go can get that whatever first components are fairly soon.
Yeah, Mind Control's still not level 6 though, so their big tempo controller. I guess you could say sometimes it's the Ember, but Matumba Man seems like he's running for his own life more than he's ganky right now. Has not gotten active, just content to farm bottom, try to pressure the lane. That does put a lot of pressure here on Mind Control to make things happen for the team.
close to the level 6, I guess, which is the reassuring thing. If not for, well, there we go. He's hit level 6 now, and I think a lot of that does come down to the Ember's previous rotation top. Like you get that one kill on FY Shake, and then suddenly Clockwork gets freed up a little bit. He goes down afterwards, but that 1-for-1 trade favors the Clockwork because he gets experience out of it. The Ember gets a kill, so it helps the Ember kind of get bigger and bigger, and the Clockwork just gets some space as well to now go back to the lane, hit level 6, and make his next move.
Well, GoDz, there will be no mech this game. Fada opting straight into the BKB. Obviously, great counter to the Lina Yules combo, as well as to deal with the Ice Blast. Mech not all that great against Ice Blast, so interesting adjustment here from Fada, but it seems like a sensible one, all things considered.
And maybe time for Clock. Okay, it looks like Ogre's actually heading top. Clock going for a gank by himself. I thought the Ogre would kind of smoke up with him, but this is another way to work things out, because Vici Gaming right now are kind of playing that greedy farming efficiency game. They're split around the map, their own jungle, the mid and the top lane, all trying to get as much farm across the board as possible, and that's where Clockwork really wants to get active, start looking for kills with the Ember Spirit.
They have the lane ward here. Liquid, well, that Rocket just scouted now. I'm not sure if they saw Kuro or Mind Control, but you can even see they tried for the D ward. But this is becoming increasingly popular, this spot. And meanwhile, Jerax, oh, you want to farm, eh, baby? Fissure, that's a miss. He's just going to TP out. He's going to get away scot-free for this, it looks like. Cold Feet won't even proc. Well, that's not how I expected that particular gank to go, but in the end, he will make it home. Fada, meanwhile, grabbing the tower mid. Yules is complete on Lina. Also has the Invis rune. Super, not level 11 yet, though, so only have the level 1 Laguna Blade at his disposal.
Yeah. Mind Control with Dust, though, but...
Are they just going to randomly Dust again?
They
saw the rune.
Yeah, this one may be easier to predict, but it'd still be pretty sick play from Mind Control. They've got one Sentry on Kuro, but it doesn't look like they're going to pop it just
Maybe
yet.
being Invis is cursed for Vici Gaming. Burning. He'll get found. He also picks up the early Ogre Club. Goes on to Matumba, but now the hook shot's going to come and look to turn it. They pop the Dust. Ice Blast flying in as well. Will hit only on Mind Control. FY with the solo Echo Slam on Fada. That's not going to get anything done. And now Liquid are on the hunt. Charging forward onto FY. They'll finish him off with the heal. Last hit secured. Chasing for more. Matumba, no points in Sleight of Fist, but he's got one last remnant. He can grab Super with this Yule Scepter cooling down for 15 seconds. It looks like Super's going to drop as well. Fada with the double. Liquid heating up here. And they'll drive Fenrir right back. Just not that crisp Vici Gaming teamwork we're accustomed to seeing, GoDz. Normally, FY Fenrir, like peanut butter and jelly, always on the same page. Fissure into a 3-hero Ice Blast. Things are looking a lot different, but they're just not finding the teamwork.
Yeah, and also just it feels like a very awkward time for them to be trying to fight like that. Tusk doesn't want to come to the fight. If Tusk comes, it may have gone a bit better, but he's just 400-500 gold away from a mech, and that's where Vici Gaming will suddenly get a whole lot stronger. Instead, they're fighting into an SF who's sitting on about 1100 to 1300 HP, depending on what treads he's on, and an Ember Spirit who's kind of reached his first little peak. Level 9, level 10 Ember Spirit is really one of the scariest things in the game at 12 to 15 minutes in. So.
Ice. I think he knows most of the remnants are in cooldown. He's running in. He chucks out the shards. He gets caught in the cogs, and now the backup's arriving, but it may be a bit too late. Snowball connects on 2. They get off an Ice Blast as well. Letting it fly. It's going to come through 3. There's the combo. Fissure 2. Mind Control should be shattering here, and possibly the Shadow Fiend in danger as well. Lina stun, comboing. Fada will drop. It's a quick turn, and miraculously, Mr. Ice walks away, lives to tell the tale. You see him chase so far on the Ember. There's 4 enemy heroes there. I feel like 95% of players like, okay, I should just back. Ice like, no, I'm going in.
He ran into 4 heroes by himself, just
trapped in the cog. Oh, well, March. God damn it, Daryl. Stop changing your name. Ice. Getting caught out a little bit, but he's baited in Matumba, man. He may actually live. Sleight of Fist is only level 1. Very long cooldown. He's going to survive. Even kicks out the shards again. And while that's happening, well, somehow, Jerax and Mind Control, they combine to take down Bernie in the bottom lane, but, I mean.
Lina bottom lane ran into them, though.
Uh-oh. Super. Laguna still on cooldown. Doesn't need it. Finds the kill with the Yules combo. Hasted and driving through. Vici Gaming getting their footing back here as we head towards the mid game.
Super's Lina has just been massive this game. The 2 kills on mid, one of them a solo kill, and now just taking over this game by himself, making up for it. I feel like the Clink's pick hasn't really had much of an impact just yet, and very much this is the stage of the game where the Clink should be strong, should be finding kills using the Earthshaker Fissure as well as the Tusk setup, and we're just not really seeing it from Burning. It goes back to a lot of just Burning, kind of traditionally being that more hard carry 4 protect 1 player. He's adapted a lot his playstyle. Vici Gaming have been drafting him a lot of Gyrocopter, Juggernaut, and he's been trying to really change up that playstyle, but he still doesn't feel comfortable playing hyper aggressive. Very much like he's making all these movements, going to the enemy jungle, kind of mirroring what he's probably seen other hyper-aggressive players do, but just hasn't quite read their opponent's movements well enough to find pickoffs from it.
Rocket being fired out here from the trees, and Ice answers back, kicking the shards out. He is going to take the tower for free, but Fenrir, trapped out towards the top. Matumba Man trying to make sure he hits the chains, gets away from the creeps, will secure the kill, but Burning on the backstab. Matumba, Walrus Punch, doesn't even make it out. Ice again the playmaker in the mid-game. Another big, actually, I would even go so far as to say crucial kill, because Ember was just starting to get back into this one.
And the first kill that really involved the Clinks as well, so that's Burning's kind of first big involvement on this game, it feels like. And
he may find a courier. Burning. Looks like he should be in range for it. Long range snipe.
Sure
I think he needs 2.
Yeah.
It's not enough. Now he tries to TP out. The clock is going to arrive. Split second before. Oh.
Oh, God, that was close.
He had to turn to fire it. That was damn close.
Yeah, again, it really feels like Burning feeling too pressured to make plays happen and to just press forward, be aggressive. That was just, I mean, a courier that he was never going to, that was completely out of range, so almost gets punished.
They're congregating. They've got a fresh and shiny Shadow Fiend BKB. No more Lina combos for Vici. Not on Fada. And perhaps more importantly, this could be the start of the Liquid 5-man if they so choose. Matumba Man, though, has been shut down quite hard, GoDz. And they're not going for the early, farming type build. We've seen occasionally Yawar go into like that Sanjin Yasha Dominator, so Liquid not as focused on economy. They also want to fight. Though walking up this cliff could be rather dicey.
They scat out Ice now with the Rocket Flare, and it looks like that this kind of 4-5-man smoke is not going to amount to a whole lot. Vici Gaming themselves grouped up as 4 or 5, though, so it's not really like they're getting out-farmed during this period. It's more they've just used up and wasted one of the smokes, which they will become precious resources. As I say that, it looks like AA buys out 2 or 3 smokes at once, and just is something like, oh, right, we have these. That's right. That's what you meant to do at 15, 20 minutes in the game. You use your smokes.
Hey, guys, you want to hotbox the Roche pit? Let's go. I got the good stuff. So let's see. They buy the smokes, but when do they look to use them?
You're
as far as big items
here in Singapore, LD.
Oh yeah. When you fly to Singapore, on the most countries have like an immigration form you have to fill out, and there's on the back is like, in case you haven't already heard, it is the capital punishment is an option for us if you use any sort of drug. So not the country to go for that type of thing, kids. When do they use these smokes, GoDz? What are they? Just the Clinks BKB, is that the item they're waiting for?
Yeah, normally it's going to be a key item timing. So Clinks BKB being one of them, and the Lina Ag Scepter possibly the other. Lina's actually surprisingly close to the Ag Scepter. They may wait for both. They may just wait for one. I don't think they want to go for an all-in 4-5-man smoke.
Oh, hey, FY God. Yeah. You die rather easily. Just caught out in the trees. Little drive-by from the Ogre. And they also make the jump on mid at the same time. Ice Blast coming out. Ice will be punished, though, by Mind Control, who managed to catch him out. Finishes the job. Ends a killing spree. Burning will try to turn this, but Mind Control's going to TP out. They need more lockdown. They need more stuns. They don't have it. And he, too, gets away. And while that's happening, Fenrir being pursued, looking for the ding, ding, ding. Doesn't get it, but now gets it on the Bloodlust as he rushes forward, trying to finish off, or sorry, not the Bloodlust, the Ignite as he rushes forward, trying to finish off Burning. In the end, well, we'll make it out, but the Ancient Apparition does fall.
Yeah, it's 1 for 3 trade, but Vici Gaming, most importantly, not losing any of their big core heroes there. At the same time, Liquid...
Super's... Oh, he already has
Yeah, he's actually
He is so farmed.
He's still less farmed than the Shadow Fiend, but this is a Shadow Fiend who's had stacks, is playing a hero that just farms a bit more efficiently, and...
The whole Liquid game plan revolved around giving Shadow Fiend help. They were stacking for him, they were ganking for him, they were warding for his lane, just generally ready to TP. Whereas Super has basically done it solo. I think the Earthshaker helped him stack this once, but that was about it.
No, so Clinks will now pick up a BKB, and this to me is a good time for Vici Gaming to go for a smoke, try and find a pickoff or 2, and then head towards the Roshan pit. That's probably the overall game plan for them as far as the next 5-10 minutes go. And then long term, when you've got the Aegis, you can start sieging and taking down towers, because Vici Gaming have only taken 1 tower so far this game, despite having an alright sieging lineup. They had a fast mech on Tusk, they have a Clinks.
And they have Lina. These are all good sieging heroes.
Absolutely. But very much Liquid hit their timing window earlier with the Ember Spirit. The Clockwork managed to salvage his bad lane and get still a pretty decent timing on his level 6, so it's very difficult for them to just go around as 5 into the Liquid lineup without kind of a Clinks BKB or something.
They know smoke's coming. Hey! Yeah. I have a feeling there might be a ward here. Well, Fenrir will find it.
I don't know if you still want to smoke, even though you've de-warded now, so you could back off and smoke, but it's very obvious. That ward just saw you
you just do it in like 2 minutes or something.
Yeah. Go farm out your jungle once or twice. It doesn't look like it looks like they're going to 5-man smoke anyways.
Then again, this is Vici Gaming we're talking about. This team was born to smoke.
Man
Matumba's going to be the one to reveal it, though. He remnants back once. Do they continue pursuit? Yes, they do. Snowball coming forward. Fisher's going to catch out Matumba Man, but the hook from Mind Control disengages and it pushes Super away from the fight, so he can't finish him off just yet, and Matumba begins to go to work. They get off the Requiem. Only a Clockwork down so far. This is the ideal engage for Liquid. 2, 3 have now fallen, and they hunt for the 4th. Super, although he has a Yule Scepter and a lot of trouble, he tries to turn with the combo. Laguna Blade never even cast. They will get 1 kill. Burning arrives, but he's surrounded by almost the entire enemy team. Matumba jumping here, there, everywhere, gets away, lives to tell the tale. 4 down for Vici. Burning too late to the fight. Unable to have an impact.
That Cogs was just so sick. They were fighting in this like narrow pathway, and nobody could get past the Matumba man Cogs. It saved the Ember Spirit at the start of the fight because Tusk actually got the initiation with the help of the Fissure, but the Laguna Blade, the follow-up just wasn't there because of how just narrow of a little crevice that they were trying to squeeze past, and it just gave Liquid the perfect initiation. Mind Control helping lead the way, and Fata just really kind of reaching at least one of his early game kind of power levels right now with SMY as well as BKB. He is just really beefy on the front lines.
They also got off the Requiem very early in the fight, so all the damage that Vici were trying to pump out was reduced, and that first bullet hitting only a Clockwork, not the ideal way to start a fight. We'll see Bernie now trying to get that first damage item, I imagine, now that his BKB is complete, but still ways to go for that. Rocket comes out, Bernie now in Viz. We'll be able to skeleton walk away. And looks like they want to make a go on bottom. The roll in from Ice Ice Ice. Commitment gets the Walrus punch off, but the Bruisers are going to take a while to bring down. And in fact, JerAx will turn. Laguna Blade even committed for this as Matumba Man's on the retreat out. Yules will now catch him. Does he have a Remnant to jump to? Stun? No, he's going to Sleight of Fist dodge the stun. Super. Can he get the kill? Still does it. The good old-fashioned way. Just machine gun Lena style while JerAx slowly but painfully dies in the trees. But in good news for Liquid, Fata continues to farm.
Still very neck-and-neck game as we kind of enter the mid-game here, and it doesn't really feel like either team's pulled ahead just yet.
Mind Control Dota. He does it again. There's a BKB ready on Burning, though. This might not be such an easy kill. Fissure coming through, only hitting Kuroki, but forcing him back regardless. Mind Control. Baits out a BKB charge. Doesn't even really get scratched.
They'll get the tower deny. Yeah, so the tower got down very, very low there. And
this BKB Clinks build first, no one's afraid of him. People just don't care about Burning. They either ignore him or they kill him.
He's going to quickly get down to a 5-second BKB, which this game, the main thing is trying to dodge potential big bursts from a Requiem. But against heroes like Ogre as well as a Clockwork, I think having a 5-second BKB could really become a problem in a fight. So we'll see how that affects things moving forward here. And it just means you're not farming. You haven't got any good farm potential with the BKB. You can't really push your threatened towers. You mentioned how he's not killing anyone. You just ignore him. So it's given him a bit of survivability, but I don't feel like it's been the best item to rush this game.
Blade Mail is completed now, and I guess that's the one area where the BKB will come in handy.
Yeah.
So they make a go on JerAx on the bottom lane. Snowball, Ice Blast, all kinds of ways to just turn this guy into shards of glass. And down he will go. Matumba Man diving Fenrir top. He will slice him up quickly, even before a TP can complete. Another takedown. 1-for-1 around the map, but it's the Ember getting kills here. And for Vici, it's only a Tusk and some supports. Speaking of those supports, AA, we are not going to see an Ags for a long time, GoDz.
Yeah, no Midas build as well. I think it was a 4-staff rush coming out from AA, so...
How big of an issue do you think not having the AA Ags is this game? Is that something that's really going to hurt their game plan? Is it just kind of a nice plus, or... So we'll see Mind Control. He managed to find Super, who was trying to get out of here. He's caught by the battery assault, slowly taking out. Mind Control will find the hook, gets the kill, and walks away.
Again. The Ags upgrade for the AA is, I think, a pretty big upgrade against the Dazzle, because often you can actually survive the AA Ice Blast through the grave, because the duration just isn't long enough, where if you wait for the last second to grave, then the AA Ice Blast will have worn off by the time the grave ends. So often you can actually still use grave against Ice Blast when it's not an Ags upgrade. Outside of that, it's probably not the biggest deal. So I feel like getting the 4-staff first is a nice little pickup, and something that they are concerned about the Clockwork continuing to find pickoffs. So they want to have the 4-staff as early as possible, and they didn't really have Tusk is an alright candidate. He could have got it after the mech, which to me may have been the better way to kind of itemize this game for Vici Gaming.
The siege begins bottom. Shards will catch out JerAx, but my god, this guy is getting large.
Just pure survivability stats. BKB, SMY, Scotty.
Oh, FY. This is one wave too far. Mind Control wants him. As long as this hook isn't a complete airball, he's in a lot of trouble. Hook comes through, even manages to get the AoE stun off onto FY, and then the follow-up comes from the heal bomb, the blade mail, not going anywhere. A blink dagger deferred. Another good pick. Mind Control has been really the story of this game for Liquid. The scoreline isn't that ridiculous, but it's more every kill he's had has been a crucial one, and that one fight in the jungle where he just single-handedly saves his Ember and wins them a huge fight. This guy is doing it, and he's doing it on LAN, GoDz. I think his first big LAN appearance, right?
For Liquid, absolutely,
so.
yeah.
No pressure. Certainly not for him. Well, looks like they will be able to grab a JerAx kill mid, something for Super, but again, they just have not killed the Ember or the Shadow Fiend in what feels like ages. Meanwhile, bottom, ice, ice, ice. Well, he's going to fight with Matumba Man, but I think his window may have worn off a bit here. He's got the Vlads. He's trying to trade right clicks. Snowball coming in. Backup is not here in time just yet, but JerAx going to play it safe, and good thing he did because Super was right about to catch him.
Yes.
At the blink.
Super's blink is, I mean, he picked it up and immediately got caught by Clockwork, but it's definitely going to be an item which is going to be essential this game for finding those quick pickoffs. Trying to jump someone like an Ember Spirit in a fight, and the Clockwork is just doing such a good job of zoning and blocking the Lena's like access to the Ember Spirit that this blink just allows you to bypass it. Because normally the hook shot's coming in as a counter initiation on someone like the Clinks or the Tusk on the front lines, and then just blocking and zoning the Lena back. But that's where the blink can really help out Super's positioning problems.
Yeah, so looking at the next like 5-10 minutes here, GoDz, you mentioned coming into the draft that you felt like Liquid are the team that are happy if this goes late. Vici, the team that wants to keep the pressure up more. Are you still feeling that way? If so, what are the timings that we're looking at for each team?
I don't think Vici Gaming want this game to continue dragging out. Clinks is not a good late game carry hero. On the side of Liquid, Shadow Fiend's going to keep on scaling well. They've got Weave. They've got a huge advantage in terms of just physical damage and physical damage resistance with having Weave on their side. Pretty tanky heroes just by nature. The Clockwork, the Ogre, SF, the way he's itemizing is absolutely massive. So it really feels like the game's already dragged on too long, and Vici Gaming are going to have to put together some insane fights just through good smoke usage, good initiation.
2 smokes crossing in the middle of the day, and then the Fissure comes out. It hits on JerAx, and Bernie begins to go to work, trying to chunk down the Ogre. They force out the Grave on him, and that means Fada doesn't have a Grave, and Fada will drop. What a terrible way to start the fight. Can Liquid turn it around, though? Super's low, trying to sprint out of there, then the slam dunk. FY hits a home run. It's out of here. 4 dead, and Liquid completely in shambles. My God, they really needed to grave the Shadow Fiend there.
Yeah, that was the exact kind of initiation positioning that Liquid needed to win a team fight. I think Vici Gaming, that Vici Gaming needed to win a team fight. Liquid, I think, overall were kind of stronger at that point. They just picked up the Scotty on SF. They had this really strong composition, but they need Clockwork in the front, finding that good hook shot and not having the SF be the one who gets initially caught. As tanky as he is with the way he's itemized, going for the Scotty, BKB, SMY, he can still be brought down if he's in the front lines like that. We had Clinks as well as the AI Blast as well as the Laguna Blade.
That was also the debut of the Desolator, and they didn't have a Weave going because they hadn't cast it yet. So the armor was a lot different than it could be, like, say, if Liquid knows a fight's coming
Still
and they
a
weave
very
up
late
in advance.
Desolator. I mean, Clinks definitely was dealing probably about 50% more damage than he'd otherwise be doing, but like a Deso Clinks at this stage when you've got Scotty SMY, you have so much armor that the Clinks isn't the, like, he shouldn't be a problem. Very much the problem was the positioning though, and Vici Gaming, that's just the exact kind of location where Vici, Liquid's there, smoke pops, and they're just kind of all looking around like, are they north of us? Are they west of us? They didn't really know Vici's exact position there. And
for the first time in a long time, Mind Control, not the one who just completely breaks up the fight. That time it was the shards, the fissure. A very potent team fight control for Vici.
I think his item choice also wasn't really appropriate for this game. The Blade Mail is not going to offer a whole lot. It's not going to do much against the Clinks with the BKB already picked up. It could help against Lena, but Lena's never going to be looking to use spells on Clock. Maybe an LSA Dragon Slave if Clock's trapped himself in his cogs and you can guarantee like a kill, but you're not ever going to do crippling damage to a Lena. Even if you Blade Mail back those 2 spells, Lena's tanky. You've got the Ag Scepter. So 4-star for Clockwork would have offered a lot more to help save your teammates as well as yourself, like when you want to hook in, trap someone in cogs, and then force out. So I think the item selection there limited Liquid's ability to team fight. With a 4-star, you could have potentially saved someone like a Shadow Fiends on the front lines.
Vici moving now into the Roche Pit. The Sigil flying high as they quickly chunk him down. Doesn't seem like this will be contested in the slightest. Clockwork not even remotely in position, and what looked like just one team fight suddenly might turn into multiple with this Aegis.
It's what Vici Gaming
New
have been looking
confidence.
for a while, is that successful smoke gank into Roche play, and it comes a lot later than their lineup was kind of meant to find it, but they do succeed. They can use this to now group up a bit more, go for some more towers. The Deso and Clinks allows them to siege a lot better, and I think Liquid will be somewhat wary of just having lost a team fight and not wanting to engage onto Vici now they've got an Aegis.
And Matumba Man getting himself back into the game. His farm progression has not been the best. Not one of those explosive games that we've seen from him as of late. Uh-oh. Jerax just ice skating away.
Nice thing about this game for Ember is you don't need to go for any kind of defensive item like the Lincolns or the Manta style to get out of any Orchids, so there's a lot of stuns. Eventually a BKB should come, but there are stuns which can catch you before you BKB anyways. A Fissure from afar, a Blink Echo Slam. So
And eventually maybe even a Blink Hex for super late game, so.
And you can always get out of the Lena Yules combo with a Fire Remnants.
Oh, FY was winding up the Fissure. Looked like they wanted to go there, but
Jeez,
someone makes
Jerax
the
is playing so aggressive on the front lines.
someone just makes the call. Let's not risk it right now. We don't have our burning for this fight. It looks like he's trying to complete his Daedalus, Gods. Burning's caught up pretty well in farm after that one big fight. He's there with the Lena, though. Granted, has not quite had the impact. City only at 3 and 3. But he's managing to stay ahead as far as items go for now.
Yeah, so Vici Gaming just want to play it safe, and they weren't really at a stage where they're strong enough to go for a high ground push or siege, so sticking around bottom wasn't going to be really anything that to be gained there. So Clinks goes back to farming. Vici Gaming as a whole probably going to look to reset, regroup, and I'd like to see him go for like a smoke play before this wears off.
Uh-oh, Kuroki, that's a new gem I see. Nice wants a piece of it. He jumps right onto Kuro. Can he even manage to TP out of here? He's going to try for it. No, Yule Scepter says, get back here. You're done for. And while that was happening, they also managed to kill the Ember Spirit. And are they even done yet? Burning, hunting mind control. So they lose the gem. They lose their Ember. Do they lose more? Fissure? Well, airball from FY, then an airball from Super. The double airball. That will be enough to get him out. But still, huge win. Getting the gem that had just been picked up. As soon as it came out, Vici started pinging him. Like, why are they so excited? Oh, that's why.
And it was very much Liquid unable to react because they were losing Ember at the same time. It was a Blink Echo Slam with an Ice Blast, just being able to bring down the Ember alone. So when your Earthshaker can somewhat solo kill an Ember, obviously he's got the help from the Ice Blast, which ultimately secured the kill, but you only need the one hero to be there. It gets really dangerous for Ember to be pushing out on the map.
And all of a sudden, they do have some physical damage. That is a completed Daedalus coming out. Super. Shiva's online now. So Vici Gaming ramping up into some serious hard carry items on two heroes that aren't necessarily known for being the scariest late gamers, but they're getting the items that might put them in position to do it.
Yeah, and from here, Liquid are kind of out of options. They're going to lose map control heavily because they lost the gem, which means they're not going to have any vision up on the map. All they can really hope to do is probably try and wait out the Aegis and go for a smoke, like as the Aegis is expiring, catch Vici Gaming by surprise, and look for those good clockwork initiations. I think Jerax can't just expect to be able to keep on running in on the front lines and waddle his way into a stun. That's kind of been how Liquid have taken a lot of the fights, or at least made a lot of their plays over the last 5-10 minutes, and it's got to be a bit more kind of finesse involved in that.
Well, waddling is the only thing Ogre knows how to do, Gods. So if you can't waddle into fights, I don't know what to tell you.
It's going to
They're a hero down.
sit further back. He needs to actually stay alive in the fight.
Seriously, that's the only method of
there's no brains
transportation
on
he
him.
knows about.
The Dumb and Dumber of Dota 2 heroes.
I think he ate his own brains. Doesn't have much left afterwards. So, all right, Aegis expiring in a minute. If you're Vici, are you satisfied with this Aegis? Do you want to relax and farm more, or is this a we gotta get more kills and just try to end the game ASAP type of Aegis?
They're not in any rush to end the game. They'd like to find some more kills, as that smoke doesn't succeed onto an illusion. But yeah, they're smoking up now in the hopes of finding a key pick off, and very much like, oh, we find a key pick off on an SF or an Ember, you can threaten the high ground, force a buyback, or potentially get a lane of racks, but it's not like a key part of the game plan. Overall, it's let's get some more map control, make sure we can figure out where any Radiant Vision is right now, but they know they are out farming Liquid. Liquid smoke, I'm guessing, is because, what, Roche is expired now, Aegis is probably gone, and Vici Gaming are going to be somewhat exposed.
Yeah, Burning just did a casual little drive-by. They will deploy a Dust. Radiant Vision.
Nice smoke reveal coming out from
Are they going to
Burning.
go for the YOLO hook?
I don't think the Dust, Dust didn't clip
Dust
him.
did not clip him.
Yeah. And without a gem means...
They had, that was their only, they only had one set of Dust, so there's actually no way to kill him there. Unless they somehow hook him, cog him, and then I guess like Shadow Fiend Requiems, but even then, Bernie has a BKB, so you're just not getting that kill.
Absolutely. Even if you catch him with that Dust, if he gets hooked, he can BKB and then re-skeleton walk away, potentially. So hard kills for Liquid to get, and I don't feel like it's always going to be tricky going for the smoke play when you're limited on detection. You really want to have a gem when you go for that smoke as the Aegis expires. But they're still getting decent farm. Fata can't be the lone carry going to the late game. Matumbaman, this is one of the poorer games we've seen from him as far as his overall farm goes, considering where we are. And he didn't exactly get pressured that hard. He kind of over-rotated, I would say, is maybe one of the biggest reasons he's kind of under farm right now. Like, he got his early game levels in farm. He went for the 1 gank at top to help the Clockwork get level 6. And after that, it never really felt like he prioritized his own farm all that much. Probably felt like Liquid were in a really comfortable position and he could just offer the most by going for ganks. But all it took was one Vici Gaming team fight.
He's out kind of far here. The Fissure's going to find him, and then just for good measure, the Shards as well. They jump on him with an Echo Slam. Ice Blast the whole kablooey. And Fata will try to at least get a Requiem out of this one before he goes down. Doesn't matter, though. He falls, and the Hunt's on. Mind Control, they want him next. About to die, it looks like. Maybe more. Super's going deeper. He wants the additional kill, and it looks like they may be able to grab him. Matumbaman out of remnants, out of options. Bam! Into all kinds of danger. No mana even for a teleport. They're going to lose 4 off of this. Both big carries down, although, let's be honest, at this point the Ember's not feeling like much of a carry, GoDz. Only a single Crystallis to his name, and now going back into what looks to be a BKB. All that momentum that Liquid had early game, yeah, that's gone now.
And teams are going to look at this game and just be even more scared of Vici Gaming. I feel like Liquid got their core signature heroes, had a good early game, and normally when Matumbaman has this scary good early game, like him and Mind Control just take over. They just start, they take the enemy jungle, they're farming it out. Matumbaman's rotating from enemy jungle into mid lane, into top lane, and just controlling the entire map. But Vici Gaming shut it down and shut it down hard.
Burning will get caught by a hook here. Could be the last fight, potentially. Super down on the low ground. The BKB allows him to just chunk through. Mind Control doesn't even care. The Requiem not available for this engagement, so they're not going to have it to negate some of the outgoing damage from Vici Gaming as Fata is chased down and hounded by a machine gun. Lena can't quite finish the job. They'll pop a dust. Everyone wants to retreat. Shards just wildly chucked out there by Ice Ice Ice, covering the path a bit. No, they're thinking about going back in. Fissure is available, but no Echo. Mind Control. No hook, so he can't really punish this. In the end, they cave in the mid lane, take a full lane of racks there. Top gets pushed to the tower, which will take some structural damage. They almost complete the kill on the tower bottom, and most importantly, GoDz, they get out cleanly.
Yep. Time to just fall back, pick up your next item or two, and a couple big heroes.
And they did force a double buyback, although I don't think we actually mentioned it. But
that's
very good result.
One of the most problematic things for Liquid here, because that means Vici Gaming, they just got a lane of racks. They're going to have a big chunk of gold going their way. Meanwhile, Liquid have just spent gold to hold a lane of racks.
Coming in hot. Does he have the angle just right? Oh, Matumbaman just barely out of the radius. Echo, FY, kind of wants to go for it anyway. He's like, yeah, you know what? Screw you.
He may just die here? Okay.
Yeah, he's fine. That was really unfortunate. That was, what, like 100 units or something?
Had to kind of predict where the creep wave's going to meet, and it was just slightly off.
Yeah, and also where in the wave Matumbaman's going to be hitting it from. But, you know, swing and a miss, no big deal. Vici Gaming still with the map control advantage. No new gem on Liquid, who are feeling rather impoverished. Not sure if they can even buy it. I think they can buy one by now, but yeah, 14 seconds.
Yep.
And then, I mean,
you definitely do, because you're playing from behind. You lose one fight, you lose the game. So you may as well make sure you have the best vision possible for the fight, as well as the detection for Clinks.
That's true. Although at this point, this Clinks, like, even if they see him, that's the one issue for Liquid is they don't have an Earthshaker, GoDz, or a Tusk plus another disable that can potentially burst a hero from full to nothing. Like, even if you catch the Clinks, he's always going to get his BKB off, right? Barring, I don't know, Shadow Fiend buying a Hex or something.
Yeah.
And that's a real worry for me.
And also,
if I'm Liquid,
there's a huge worry that Liquid just aren't probably in a position to contest Roche. So very likely we see Vici Gaming go for another team fight or push with an Aegis.
Fata being stalked here. Burning going to engage with the BKB, and well, Fata going to barely TP out. That was a close call though, but not so lucky will be the clock. And yeah, while that was happening, Super just decapitated the Ember Spirit with the assistance of FY. Looks like only a fissure was needed there to secure the kill. And with that, GoDz, Vici might be just looking for that second lane of racks.
Super is just out of control. He's almost got enough money
11, 3, and 9. This is rivaling some of the cheeky Lena games that we've seen. And
It's crazy because a lot of it just came from great individual play as well. Super not necessarily known for dominating the mid lane.
I feel like he's been playing a lot better the past
Yes.
couple weeks.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up. I really feel like he's upped his game as his individual play. He's also been drafting for the team, which is something really impressive. I don't know if he's captaining or if FY is still doing the shot calling, but drafting, playing better, this Super's just really been fantastic lately.
And I forget who it was, but the general image of Super is that he's one of the laziest players on the China scene. Like, doesn't really practice that much.
Ice trolled him and
Ice
kept saying
has
that.
called him lazy, but like he has been basically
Yeah.
accused of not practicing as much as other players. So maybe after TI, he had a little team at a meeting, a little change of heart. Bernie whipped him into shape, although Bernie normally isn't the type of guy to do that. I'm not sure, but here comes what could be the last fight. FY roars and gets off the Echo Slam. They try to turn this, though. Fada with a beautiful Requiem, and it seems Super might not be able to win this man fight on his own. He's going to need the assistance of Burning, and it is provided. Burning giveth, and Burning will now take away the rest of Liquid's lives together with Super. Vici Gaming started this one looking very hesitant, GoDz. A lot of missed chain stuns and combinations. Even in the mid-game, there were some misplays, but it felt like as the game went along that they kind of found their groove, they got more comfortable, and that was always the hallmark of the old Vici Gaming rosters, was just incredible team play and clutch fights, and they're starting to get it back here.
Yeah, there's the stage like in the mid game where they were going around trying to make some individual plays, like Burning roaming around a lot on Clinks. The Tusk got caught out a few times. Super really held them together there in the mid lane, in the mid game, and that was where Vici Gaming looked a little shaky, but once the team fights kind of came out.
Thank you so much, LD and GoDz. We're back at the panel now. I'm here with Lumi and Winter. Back in action again. Gentlemen, we just witnessed game one, Vici Gaming taking on Liquid. Seemed pretty neck and neck there for a while, but all of a sudden, Vici Gaming felt comfortable with their lineup, and there was just no turning back. So what would you have to say was the big tipping point that game that allowed Vici to just kind of take over? Winter.
The fight at top, I think that was really crucial because they just got a Skadi, maybe SMI BKB Skadi at that point on the SF. And they lost the fight because they weren't ready for the fight. Because Vici smoked into the jungle, they found the initiation, and they killed 4 heroes, and they got Roche after that. All the early part of the game, I think Liquid had a really good grip into the game. But that point was the point where Vici actually just gained a huge advantage.
I think we had an early notion there when we were talking a bit about Matamaman's Ember Spirit. You were like, why would he be the best? And then we see Matamaman play an Ember not like we've used to see. Why were they able to keep him in check so much? Because that's, I'm not one to talk, but it did seem like a pretty underwhelming performance from Matamaman considering what we've seen before. Was that credit to Vici Gaming keeping him in that lockdown, or was it maybe he felt too comfortable with the early game, Fata's doing well, we could take it a bit more laxed. Why did he not have a good game?
I thought his laning stage, he normally gets much more room than he did that game. I think Ice even solo killed him once, right?
Yeah, once.
Yeah, so maybe it was just a couple of individual mistakes, but if you think about the way that you have to play Ember that game, you have to really play on your toes, because the Fissure, if you get ice blasted in the fight, then you're really in trouble. Ice obviously had a ton of lockdown, and then you also have to worry about the Lina. So I think a lot of credit goes to Vici's draft in the sense that if you're playing Ember that game, you're pretty scared throughout. Like, even if you had a Dazzle backing you up, it wasn't going to protect you from Grave, or protect you from the Ice Blast if it lands. So I think it was just a tough Ember game.
You agree with that? Such a tough Ember game?
Yeah. It was also a point where I think Parker mentioned he was talking about he felt that Matamaman over-rotated that game because he felt that Matamaman needed to be more greedy in terms of his farm instead of he's just playing the normal style where he rotates a lot and he gives more space to his teammates instead of trying to take more space himself. And that game, their supports were Dazzle and Ogre, which doesn't really benefit so much in farm. And obviously I think it's easy for us to say after we see the game, but I think he needed to take more farm that game to actually be able to carry his team. And also because the disaster fight happened, they lost 4 heroes.
Do you think they were also able to utilize their farm appropriately? GoDz also questioned if Liquid itemized appropriately to be able to be aggressive.
He talked about the 4 stuff. Yeah, the 4 stuff on Cloudwork. He felt like Cloudwork needed to build a 4 stuff instead of a Blade Mail. Because when you are getting Blade Mail, you need to get it at a very early time. Otherwise, it feels like the Blade Mail doesn't do a lot. Even though there was a Lina in that game. And not to mention the Clinks Rush BKB, which we don't really see too often as well.
But it worked out really well. So that concludes game number 1. Vici Gaming are going to take 1 point. We'll have to see going into game number 2 if Vici Gaming are going to end up with a 2-0 sweep and claim 3 points, or if Liquid are going to at least be able to scrape together 1 win and make it a 1-point draw. We'll find out in just a moment. We'll see you soon for game 2 of Liquid going against Vici Gaming.